it going? It's me, Aman, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are looking at some of the most messiest experiences that people have gone through regarding their best friends and their partners. Let's get into it.
So, my husband, before we were together, obviously, he dated someone for like 4 to 5 years. I've never met her, whatever. You know, you always think like, oh no, I can't stand your exes, whatever. But it's just a thing that everybody does. But I've never met her. So she could be really cool, sweet, whatever. But obviously she was around for like 4 to 5 years, really close to the family. They still post pictures of her on her birthday on Facebook and say happy birthday. They never did that for me, but you know, good for you. So my sister-in-law, she was pregnant, she was having a baby shower, and she was very close to that ex-girlfriend. Like, they were best friends for all that time. And she invited her. And I was already like, about going anyway, because I wasn't super close with my sister-in-law. My husband had 6 siblings, so it's not like I was super close with all of them. So I was already like, And then I found out that the ex was coming, and I was like, okay, this is about to be very uncomfortable for me. I told my husband, I said, this is a very uncomfortable situation for me. I don't want to not go and look petty, like, oh, if she's going, then I'm not going. And so he suggested, hey, why don't you just go? You're there for like 20-30 minutes. Then I'll call you and say, hey, like, I need you, and then we can go on a date and make a day of it, whatever. And then you don't have to be stuck around everybody. And I was like, that is perfect. Let's do that. And I had initially talked to my mother-in-law too, being like, you understand that this is a very like awkward situation for me. And she was like, oh yeah, like this, it's not gonna be a problem, I promise. Like, we're not gonna let it be awkward, whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. Obviously, it's the day of the baby shower. I go, she is there, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-laws are there. It's fine, you know, everything is fine. It's a little awkward, but whatever. I'm trying to just like move past it. My sister-in-law goes to open her presents, so everybody takes a seat. So I think, oh, my mother and sister-in-laws are over there. I will sit by them, because those are the people that I know. Take a seat. My mother-in-law turns to me and goes, I'm sorry, this seat is for her. Okay. So I didn't have a seat, because they saved a seat for my husband's ex-girlfriend, but not for me. So I had to stand and watch. So I call my husband. I'm fuming. I'm like, this is what just happened. I need you to come get me. This is completely ridiculous. He tells me, actually, we're not going to be able to do that today because I am on my way up to my friend's house in the city. So I'm like an hour away, and I also have the only house key, so you're kind of stuck there. You can't go home. Yeah. So that was fun. So I'm stuck at this baby shower. Can't even go home afterwards because my husband took the only house key and he lost the other one, so that's why we only have one. And then later on, he's like, why are you so mad at me? Like, I was going to my friend's house. And I was like, do you not remember that you're supposed to save me from this very awkward interaction? And he's like, it's fine. Like, get over it.
Okay, I'm sorry, but the fact that he didn't even try and like defend you and didn't come to your aid when you needed it, oh, that's not a good sign. And the fact that he also said that he would come and save you, but he never did, that's also a very bad. Well, I don't even think they made a promise about that, but still, like, if you say you're going to do something to try and help your wife out of an uncomfortable situation, you would do anything you can to make sure that she's comfortable. That's the whole point. And the fact that you only have one house key, couldn't you have like made more keys? Like, can you not get them cut if you knew that your husband lost the other one and you only had one? But anyway, that's the only thing I have on you about your house keys. But everything else is just, what the hell? The fact that they still favor her is the fact that his parents, like his family, still favor his ex over you. That's not that's not good. That's a really bad sign. That's a very bad vibe as well. The fact that they still like, they kind of keep in touch with her and like they're always posting about her, they're always talking about her, whatever. And I just feel like they prefer her more, which it's obvious that they do. You could have just left anyway and took yourself on a date, you know? Like, you could have just treated yourself to something better and, you know, to just get away from the uncomfortable scenario that you were in.
I just had the worst first date of my life. I figure I'm just gonna tell you what happened and then we're gonna try and work our way back from there. My date invited myself along with 2 other women so that he could speed up the process of finding his perfect 3-way. I met this guy on a dating app, and I feel like by all reasonable measures, he was pretty much just your average guy. Literally nothing in his profile could have prepared me for what was to come. We agreed to meet at this Italian restaurant that's about 15 minutes away from my house. So I show up in my Uber, and I'm probably like 10 minutes early because I just usually show up early to things. I don't know. When I get there, he's standing outside the restaurant and I recognize him from his profile. So at least he's not a catfish. You know, we say hi to each other and then he's just like, okay, let's go inside and grab our table. He made a reservation, so the table was ready right when we got there. So at least that was nice. They bring us to our table and they seat us at this four-top, which honestly isn't that weird if you think about it. We're really only sitting there for like maybe 2 minutes before this girl walks up, who I think at the time is just a waitress. But no, and you already know what's coming. She kind of just looks at me funny and then introduces herself just casually, and I'm like, oh hi, like I'm Megan. And as she's sitting down, the next girl walks up. So all the girls are just introducing each other and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He's just sitting there like completely fucking fine. And then she goes, oh, so like, how do you know so-and-so? As in the guy. I'm just not gonna say his name because honestly, you know what? I should fucking say his name. Matthew. It was Matthew. And I'm like, oh, I actually don't really. This is our first date. So naturally, my next question is, oh, well, how do you know Matthew? He looks me dead in the eyes and goes, I thought this was our first date.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I just thought that these other two girls were friends that he knew that were around. Maybe he invited, I don't know, people are weird. But no, he'd scheduled this date at the same time with all three of us to meet at this place. And why, you might ask? Well, you're probably not asking because I already told you he was trying to speed up his process of finding the perfect three-way.
Understandably, that should be a conversation you should have on Tinder. So the other person has the chance to just leave there and then and not waste anyone's time. The fact that he invited 3 girls on a date, I mean, most boys would be jealous of him for even like getting 3 girls to agree to go on a date with him, regardless of them all being on the same date. I mean, I don't even know where to go from here because that's just such an unheard of thing. I have a feeling like there are probably other people out there who've done what he's done, and Matthew has set off a trend. Let's just dead the trend right now. Let's just make sure it never happens again, because that is awful. That is so bad. I mean, that's one for the books, you know? Before we carry on with the video, I just want to hit you with a quick reminder to subscribe. That is, of course, if you're enjoying my content. I can see a lot of people watching but not subscribing, and it would be a massive help to this channel if you could. Also, if you've got any other suggestions to what content you'd like to see on this channel, please let me know in the comments down below or on my community posts. Thank you, and let's get back into it.
I was popular in middle school, but not in the way you think. At my school, the popular girls played volleyball, and so did I. So I thought they were my friends. Silly me. Last time I checked, your friends aren't supposed to make fun of your body and set you up with guys as a joke. Yeah, they did that. I barely got invited to anything, but when I did, they would just make fun of me the whole time. One time, I don't like talking about this because it bothers me so much. A girl put me in a chokehold and they locked me in a room after. Yeah. The psychological explanation for everything they did to me is that they were insecure. If anything, the situation taught me that it's better to be alone than to be surrounded by people who treat you like garbage. It gets better. Not for the bullies though.
She's so pretty. I'm sorry, I know that's off topic, but she's so pretty. I couldn't stop staring at her. She's so gorgeous. I never understood this whole being popular thing. In my eyes, I see if you're a popular person, you're using it as an excuse to be rude to other people and bully other people. That's what happened to me in my experience, and in her experience as well, because unfortunately she thought she was one of the popular ones. But I mean, the way that they treated her is just horrible. Like, no one should go through that, especially if they're making comments on your body when you're still a child. You're still going through changes. It's never gonna I'll never wrap my head around how that's ever okay to do. Yeah, I just hope on her behalf that all of her popular friends or her bullies, I'm gonna call them bullies because that's what they were, get their karma, because that's what they deserve. I mean, she is a glowing girl. She is a very stunning girl. And everyone out there who is being bullied by the popular people, I know how it feels, trust me. All of mine were just horrible, horrible people for no reason. I was literally breathing and they would start yelling at me for existing. It's just a very odd concept for being popular at school. Don't get me wrong, there are some nice popular people, but I'd say 99% of them were just twats, like proper twats. They were all shagging each other's boyfriends and I was like, what is going on? But anyway, I just pray on your behalf for you that your bullies get karma. So that's all I'm gonna say on that. I could go on. I could like rip into each and every single person, but I won't.
Y'all tell me if this has happened to you guys while you were in school, but I remember when I was in middle school, Facebook was that girl. Everybody in the school had a Facebook account. We'd message each other, poke each other, like all that corny Facebook stuff. And I remember one particular night, and I remember it so vividly. It was a Thursday night, and this anonymous account messaged me, and the message was airing out my tea, right? And I was like, who the heck is this? Come to find out, this anonymous account literally sent mass of messages to every single kid in the school, airing out their tea. And the anonymous account was making like Facebook statuses, like, I'm gonna air out everybody's tea, da 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 da. So they would make status updates on like every single kid in the school just airing out their tea. And mind you, they didn't even want anything. The anonymous account didn't want anything. There was nothing to gain from this. They just wanted to air out people's tea. So when I tell you Thursday night, Facebook was a mess. Everybody was making their own statuses, talking about like, who's this anonymous account? Who is it? La 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 la, when I find you. Y'all, as this progressed, everybody at school was talking about it. It got so bad that the anonymous account was literally airing out teachers' tea. I had a PE teacher, and the rumor was going around that he had a corn tape floating around the internet. It was getting so bad. Teachers were getting involved. Principals was getting involved. They literally could not stop this account.
Wait. If they didn't know who the account was, why couldn't they have just taken it to the police? Because they always do some like FBI you know? Would that not have been the clever thing to do? I don't know. Carry on.
So everybody at school was talking about it. They're like, it has to be some loser who gets picked on, who gets bullied, da-da-da-da-da, whatever. So the account kept making status updates. They're like, well, Kevin has no mom, his mom died. Like, just crazy ass shit like that, airing people out. This went on for like months. I'm surprised they got away with it for as long as they did. It got to the point where parents were getting involved and it was a mess. So you want to talk about cyberbullying, this was it. So I remember one night, it was another Thursday night, and they updated their account, making a status saying, I'm gonna reveal who's in charge of this anonymous account Tuesday, second period gym. Y'all, I had second period gym, so I was like, oh, I'm about to go to school tomorrow. So I went to school that Friday, and everybody was talking about it, and they're like, we're gonna beat up the kid, whoever comes out, we're gonna beat them up. And so they were like, but what if it's a girl? So all the girls were like, well, we'll beat her up. It was so bad. And I'm 100% sure that the anonymous person found out that they were gonna get jumped. They literally knew they were gonna get jumped. So when it came down to Tuesday, second period gym, nobody said anything. I was looking around, everybody in the gym, because everybody was like waiting for who's gonna come out and say it's them. We were ready to jump this person. I'm not even playing.
Oh, what is that? I was waiting to find out who it was. Oh my god, was that just part 1 or something? Hang on. Damn, I can't even find part 2. I think that was like the whole thing, but I want to know who it was. I feel like no one was actually ever going to step forward and confess that it was them, because if they knew they were going to get beat up, I would keep my mouth shut too. I would take it to the grave if that was me. Imagine if that anonymous person was watching that TikTok. I kind of want to know what that Facebook account was or is, if it's still up. I want to know all the dirty tea that was going about. Wow, Facebook.
Okay guys, get ready with me while I talk about how my best friend wants my boyfriend. So this specific girl has been my best friend since 4th grade, and I've had a boyfriend for 2 years now. She's literally the first person I told that I was like talking to him, and then from there she went like crazy. In the beginning she was like, oh, what's his name, like I'll like text him on Instagram and see if he is like loyal and all this stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, sure, whatever. So we went on with it. He never answered her, but she did text him off a fake account, so I thought that was a little weird. So move forward to like 2 months of us dating, and she like wouldn't stop asking about him, or like every time he would come over, she would just somehow appear and be like, oh, can I come over too? And she would like drive past my house. Like my parents would say, oh, I saw Wawa driving out front of the house today. Is she gonna come over later? And I was like, oh, that's weird, because she didn't even mention that to me. So I finally like told her to stop coming over when he was over without asking me, because I'm not blowing her off. I'm just saying I don't want her to be here unannounced when he's here.
That's fair.
So then closer to like 8 months to a year, she started coming over again and more frequently. And then after that, it was his birthday. She got him Legos and a like squishmallow, and I was like, why are you getting him this? And she was like, oh, you can just say it's from you, like I got it for you to give to him. And I'm like, yeah, well, this has been like a year of us dating, so I don't need you to get him stuff. And why do you know it's his birthday? Like, this is the first year of us even dating. This is his first time having a birthday. Weird. So she basically chimed in when I like was telling him about it, and she was like, oh yeah, I got that like for you. Like, I got that for you, because she was too busy. Like, she was at work. And I was like, are you kidding? So okay, we get over that. We keep hanging out like without him, and I'm not putting her to the side. I'm just like fed up with what she's doing. So then we move on. We're perfectly fine. She's not doing any more weird stuff, and we're at the summer, and she invites herself over to his house where I am, because she FaceTimed me. She's like, oh, what are you doing? And I was like, somewhere. She's like, oh, I know where you're at. And I was like, why? And obviously, because we have each other's location. So she came over. But what finally drew me to making this after 2 years of dating is that today is her birthday, and she was like, oh my god, he didn't text me happy birthday, like we're friends, we should be saying happy birthday. But the thing is, he doesn't go along with it, so they're not like friends. It's like one-sided, and I don't know how to tell her, because we've been friends since like 4th grade, 2nd grade even, and we're literally seniors now, so I don't know how to break the news to her, but it's fine.
Oh my god, how do you have the patience to put up with that? I mean, after the first few times, that's when you should have like, you know, cut your friendship with her at least, or like just told her there and there, like, listen, I don't want you around my boyfriend, you're being weird about it, it's very weird. Because it is very weird for her to constantly invite herself over when she knows that your boyfriend's with you. And the fact that your boyfriend is not going along with it, it's a good sign. But on her behalf, she's a very, very weird person. I never understand girls like that. I know girls like that who will do anything to try and take, you know, their friend's man off them, or try and like impress their man better than their girlfriends. It's just weird. It's such a weird behavior. It's so odd. But anyway, that is the end of this video. That's all the time I have for today. Very interesting to like review some of these messy experiences that some of these people have been through. Just girls are crazy. I want to know who was behind that anonymous account as well on Facebook. It's spreading everyone's personal tea, you know, personal secrets and whatnot. I want to know. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.